So Mark, we're talking about debunking some of the myths about sales, and it's interesting, myth number 2, because you describe it as attitude sets altitude. And that's interesting because to an extent, surely attitude does make a difference. So perhaps you can explain a bit more about what you're saying.
Absolutely. This upsets lots of sales directors because they're often going, look guys, we know we need to create energy for us to sell these products, and I get that, The reality is I've worked in organisations whereby we had energy, we had people doing 150 dials a day. The reality was our product was rubbish. So no amount of happy clapping in the office at the beginning of the day is going to help a salesperson when they pick up the telephone when the customer says, your product is poor and I don't want it. So that's the point. It's not a case of attitude setting our altitude. It's firm belief in the value proposition of what you're selling. Get that right and the rest follows.
So we're not saying here that attitude doesn't matter. What we're saying is it's not the principal primary motivator in the jigsaw puzzles.
Absolutely right. We say that it's belief in your value proposition that will then set your mental state, your attitude, which will then set your physical state, which then should deliver a positive outcome. But it starts off with belief. You can't go halfway in. Believe in your value proposition and everything else follows.
So, I mean, even when you believe in your value proposition, salespeople often, they can go through a bad spell, can't you? You can have a bad patch when it's not quite working out, whatever else. At that point, is attitude damaging performance? Is there anything that salespeople should be thinking about at that moment when perhaps, I love the product, but I'm having a few bad days or whatever at the office? Then what should salespeople be doing?
Well, it comes back to, are they doing the metrics, etc. But the number one area is that you're most positive when you believe in what you do. If you're positive about running, you don't need to be kicked out of bed in the morning to go running. So it's positivity in what you're doing. And that normally comes from reanalyzing the product. I guarantee if their attitude is slipping, it's because they've been told no too many times. So our job as sales directors is to then help them reinvigorate the belief in what they're selling. I guarantee from then, everything flies.